Last time on Sean's Model Builds. And now, the continuation. So I'm warming up the matte black, both the old and the new bottle, so that I can spray the bottom of the chassis. Because I've reached the point where there's nothing else to assemble except to the chassis itself. So I've got to hurry up and get it painted and do the flat back black corrections around the windows because the silver didn't work out, and do the manual painting here. As you can see, there are no brush strokes visible, so that's good. You can still see the wipers and everything, but I want to get that retaining wall as well. You can still see through to the slots, so it should be fine. Those are the hood slots there. But you see how there's side hood slots, there's slots there, and then there's slots in the center. So that should work, and it's good progress on the RoboCop car. And this is the first video in a while without the light on, so we see back to the normal color that I had before. So I'll come back when the chassis is spray painted. Back again. I have done as much as I could on the chassis. Anything that didn't get the proper coating of black, because I went in all four directions again, will be touched up with the flat black, which has worked really well, as you've seen on both the rear bumper. Now I know the rear bumper is darker than the rest of the car, but remember, that side got everything. It's just this side. And you can see where something didn't get quite covered, but remember, those are going to be white on either side of the license plate. Those are the backup lights, and there's inserts for everything else, so it should work out in the end. And that should be about it for now. So I'll come back when I've done more on the the RoboCop. See you later. Oh, and here's a updated picture. Oh, wait a minute. There's the updated picture. And a zoom in on the 4 main sections. Actually, that's the magnifying glass. You don't need that. There you go. 3 main sections. There you go. Oh, wait a minute. Let me see if I can do it from the side without getting the water dish in the background. All right. Well, we'll have the front. Yeah, and there's the engine on its tray. So there you go. There's an updated picture for you. And that's all for now on the Remy RoboCop Police Cruiser. See you later. Bye-bye. Back again. This is Tuesday. Now, if you look at the chassis, you see how there's supposed to be 2 holes, and you can see all the way through them. And if you look at the chassis instructions, you can see how there is supposed to be 2 holes to fit those parts of the muffler in place. So it seems to me that I am going to have to drill out those 2 holes. And I have my little Citadel pin vise here. So we're going to do just that and see what we can get. All right, so we do a test to see which hole fits. That one, yeah, that's about right, because the other one is too small. And you don't want to use a hole that's too big, otherwise the thing will fall through. And you want to make sure that each hole is through enough. I don't know if that's supposed to be through or not, but I know these 2 are anyway. So, in we go. There we are. This is something I didn't think to do with the Titanic. All right, let's make sure I'm in view here. All right, good. Here we go. First hole all the way through. It should be there. Good. Second one is not all the way through, but I am going to punch it through just because it should match the other one. There you go. There you go. See? Now you can see all the way through both of them. Now, here and here, I'm going to expand these two holes as well, because if you look at the instructions, you are going to see two pegs for this thing right here, the rear suspension. You see those two pegs? Oh, wait a minute. Now you can see them. Come on, stay steady. See those two pegs? There are the two holes they have to fit into. Central plug and the other hole. So you have to make sure they're drilled out, and they are just... Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. They are right there, actually. However, okay, then what fits here on top of that thing? It looks like nothing fits in there. See? And yet there are indentations there, and it looks like they go part the way through. So let's see how the suspension can go down a bit. Just a little bit. Just to make sure. Not all the way through, of course. Because you want to make sure that the pegs can fit in deeply enough, but don't wreck the piece. All right. And the muffler, well, you can see through there. These two have now been drilled out. That looks like a peg of some sort. These might be drilled through, but I don't see anywhere they go. So I think we're done as far as this part is concerned. Interior bucket is nice and solid. The seats are firmly in place now. I'm not putting in the central barricade until I can be sure I can get the glass in. And the glass for that central barricade is here. I'm not going to try to put the glass in until the last possible moment. You don't want glue smudges on it or anything. Look at this. Putting the engine in place. The engine frame, see that right there? Now, we turn everything. We should be able to see something. So, which way is it pointing? That way. Okay. You see this little hole right here? Right in there? That is for the suspension to connect. You see the bottom part of the suspension, and the top part of the suspension goes in the fender, which is up in here. At least that's where it looks like it is. Actually, it's behind it a bit. Oh, right in there. See that indentation? That's where the top of the suspension fits. Okay, now what about the radiator? Well, the interesting thing is, since most of the thing is already painted, I don't think there's any harm in fitting the radiator slot in there. So I'm going to get everything set up for that one. Be right back. Here we go. Here's the radiator. Now, there. That's how it fits on the car. So I have to clip it off its sprue tree runner and install it. And I'm going to get the, oh dear. If you were going to install the engine, how do you attach it? You see those? Those are indents that are designed to fit those little tabs. Now, they're very tiny, and they have a little pin in them. Oh, and that's what these pins are for. That's for the engine. Let me do a test fit here. Feeding it through, sending it in the pin. Aha! See that? Fits right in. So now, you can... There we go. Now it's sitting properly in its tabs. Okay, so we're going to do some gluing here. Now, this is very important. I am going to try to fit the two McPherson struts in place. Ow! Before I do anything, I have to account for that radiator hose. Now the radiator hose is supposed to fit in this slot. It's not attached to the engine yet. It's probably going to be a lot easier to attach it while I have the engine. So, be right back with that step. Got to go back to step 4. Actually, it's step 1. But I'm moving it to step 4 because if you look at the way the engine fits on its chassis, and wherever the radiator hose goes, it's hopefully going to rest on something at this end and actually rest on the chassis itself. So let's hope I can get it right. Let me find the part. Found it. Now you just have to get it so that it is... Yeah, that's the way it has to go. So I'm going to glue it in place first and then paint it. Important that I keep the hood like this so that the parts don't scrape its front. They can rough up the back all they want. Alright. And I must put the radiator away as well, because I can't use it yet because I got ahead of myself. But I'm hoping that attaching the radiator hose now will give me the opportunity to lean it against something while it's being attached. Now, it has a little peg and a little bit down here somewhere. So let's see. There is a little slot. Supposed to fit in just like that. But you see, now it can actually lean against something while it fits in place. So we're going to see if that works. So get the glue on the part, like so. Get the glue on the arm, wherever it's going to lean, like that. Turn it upside down so it's fitting in its slot while it's put in place. Come on, come on. I know, doing this on camera, and I don't even know if I'm in view yet. There. You know what? I don't even know that it's staying in place. That's a bit fiddly. Alright, then I am going to jump ahead. But I am going to find parts 22 so I can at least attach it to the engine and in their slot to start with. Put the radiator hose into that bag there. Not sure it's ever going to be actually used. Some parts are just too fiddly, so I don't want to have to deal with them. Alright, now I have to find the McPherson struts, part 22. And yes, I guessed at the name and I was actually correct. Okay. What does that say? That says part 49, so it's not that. Oh, they're around somewhere. No, that's another radiator hose. It's not that. Ah! Aha! Part 22? Part 22. There they are. So I gotta cut them both out and I'll be back once I've done that. Alright, now, the tiniest slots are there. You see them? So there has got to be a way to cut this part off without getting rid of those tiny little slots. So give me a moment here to do this trim and this trim. Good, there we go. So now the upper slot is free. Now I am just going to cut there. And there. I'd rather leave the tiniest bit on it than not be able to access the slot and peg because they are so tiny. It would be far too easy for them to be cut off by accident. And this way I will ensure that they are not... There. That peg is still in place. Come on, focus on my finger. See, that peg is still in place, however little. So, now I have to do the same with this peg. Turn them this way so they don't cut too much. Or, carefully, twist. There. The peg is still there, however tiny. Okay, so let me make sure that they actually fit onto the engine mounting this way, and there. Wait a minute. Wait just a minute. Where is that little axle nub that's supposed to exist there? You see that? That is not on my piece. It's not on my piece at all. It doesn't look anything like it's supposed to. There is not an axle nub poking out. There isn't even a section where it should exist. I do hope that's not kind of some error, but look at this. This could be the axle, the front axle. So you have to fit it in its little knob. There, see? Got it. Good, 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 good. And front fender, slip. Oh dear. It's supposed to fit up in there, but I don't see how. I mean, you see that? So it's almost like it's supposed to slide on something, but there's nothing for it to slide on, and I don't know if that's the way. Way up there? Like that? Oh, I get it. That's what that metal knob is for. Okay, good. So slide it into that tab first, both of them, before you even put the engine in place. Oh, here we go. Putting the glue inside the piece and sliding it into its section. And its little notch. Now you got to make sure they're at a good right angle fitting in that slot, because otherwise if they slide around, you won't be able to get the wheel on straight. There. And there. Now before I put the engine in place, although putting the engine in place would help that slot fit. So mirror image this way, like so, and it fits on these tabs too. So we're going to try that as well, even before we put the radiator in. So glue, 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 glue on tab, glue on tab, glue up top so it stays in place. Good. And we have to glue, 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 and glue. And now I'm glad I left those parts unpainted. So, turning the engine like so. Just like that. Come on, come on. There you go, there you go. There you go. Now, is it attached? Oh, there's a gap. Give me one moment here. Pressing down. Pressing in. Good. There we go. Excellent. Ooh, 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 ooh. Wait a minute. There. So it should fit right on top of that strut, and it should fit right on top of that strut, like that. And it's not gluing on there. However, get some glue in here, and that'll hopefully fix it. And glue all around to get it to fit in place. And glue the connection between the top of the strut and the engine frame there, and here, and here. And then just hold it down equally. So I am going to be back after everything's attached. I am going to sit the glue bottle right on top of the engine, and hopefully that'll make it even enough that everything can sit and fix itself in place, just like that. So here's hoping that it all works out. And oh, there's still a gap on the right. I don't know how or why. Look, there is still a gap on that right side, or so it seems. Yes, there is, and yet it's down. But it's not down in front. That frame is somehow bent. I don't know how or why. And because the frame is bent, it doesn't completely attach here. So I am going to be forced to do this and have the weight of the engine sit like that instead. And that's going to have to do it. Now, that does give me a unique opportunity to attach the radiator as well. All right, here we go. There's the way the radiator goes in. It has this ridge. It has this trench. Put the glue... Oh, I'm not even in camera view, am I? There we go. Put the glue in the trench. Put the glue along here. Come at the radiator from both sides, which thankfully are not painted. All right. Go like this and fit it in place. All right, let's see here. That seems to be it. It seems to be how it fits. From underneath, it's poking out a bit, but it doesn't seem like it can be pushed in at all. It's like that tray is too thick for it. It's so strange. Anyway, it appears step 5 is now complete. I have to find step 6. Well, that's the interior assembly. And that's attaching the rest of the stuff to the interior bucket, including the barrier and everything. So let's go to step 7. What does step 7 look like? Ah, yes, that's the interior body assembly. Okay. Lower firewall. Well, I think I'm going to try to attach the other pieces to the dashboard as much as possible. At least the 2 halves of the radio on top of here. Let's see how that goes. Here we go. Those are the 2 halves, part 61 for the radar. And they go on right about there, right above the radio. I'm just going to put it to the left, and we'll see if that works, because I really don't see where the gun is supposed to fit in there somehow. I think they're supposed to, let me separate them. Let me see if their butts face down on the seat. Wow, we're already at 21 minutes. Found it. There are 2 slots. one here, there's one here, just deep enough to fit the butt of the rifle. And I believe it is designed to fit the short end of the clip. So if you put the short end of the C7 right there, right like that, you just might be able to glue it in place. Kind of like that. Huh. And you might be able to fit the shotgun right in here. Yeah. All right, there's that radar thing put together. It's supposed to fit approximately here. Now I think it's going to fit much better if you cut the little tab off. And you have a much flatter surface for it to fit on. So I'm going to do this. It's a much better chance of fitting flush that way. And then you just put a little glue on there. Tiniest drop here. And it should fit pointing this way. Just like that. And it should set with the glue. And then you can paint it black once it's firmly in place. So I am not going to touch it. And with glue and paint smudged fingers, there's no way I'm going to try to put the glass in. Still can't find a way to really get the rifles in, and I don't want to jar anything. So okay, well, my cell phone ran out of room. But now that everything's attached to the bottom of the chassis, I can do this step. Step 10. So I'm going to do that next. Before step 8. But I want to be able to attach the muffler to the chassis while I can still get at the underside tabs. And besides, I already did part of step 11, attaching the front and rear bumpers. Yeah, I want to be able to get at all the tabs. But yes, I'm going to wait until the body's attached to everything before I put on the mirrors. Don't want to break them off. There's no pause button on the digital camera, too primitive. So it's going to be made up of different slices of videos. But I have pegs on here. You can see them there. They have to go into these two holes, which are not fully drilled out, so I have to use my little hand drill to do that. So I'll be back once it's attached. But I can attach the actual muffler first. It has a couple peg holes that should work. Ah! I get it. That's what these peg holes are for in the center of the slot. And they attach the muffler here, which has a flat space for this. Flat space along here, no doubt. And an indentation right there. Okay, so we'll attach the 3 parts and then take the picture. Now, the rear muffler and its tailpipes, if it fits kind of like this, that might interfere with being able to attach this to the car assembly. However, this shouldn't. Of course, the other side of the coin is, how are you going to find the exact option to attach everything? I mean, this is supposed to fit in like this, and it's supposed to have 2 little slots that fit like that, but without this muffler being there. There you go. There you go. Now it's kind of hard to do this with one hand, but that's almost exactly aligned as it should be. And it does look like it fits over top of the muffler when it's in place. So give me 1 minute here. Let me do this. There. There. Uh-huh. Alright, kind of like that. Because it's fit in there, it's fit in here. But you don't know if the car body will fit over that securely without damaging a muffler. So that's why I am going to wait. Well then what are these holes for? See those? And there's no peg in the chassis for it, so I really don't know what they're for. There are those 2 holes there and nothing fits in them. So strange. Well, I can at least fit the front muffler in place, and its weight might help keep the engine on its supports properly. So I will do at least that. There's nothing more I can do tonight. That's about it. And I'll be back tomorrow with hopefully a cell phone full of room. So that part has been attached. The glue is in there on that bottom side. The tabs in which the front of the chassis fit are unobstructed. You're leaving this off until the entire car is assembled. The good thing is the glue took off the paint off there, so it's easy to get the wheels on. Everything should be fine. Oh, look, this is for the rear wheels, see? Rear wheels. Now, this is a unique opportunity to test whether you can fit a wheel on a strut or not. So give me 1 minute. Let me set the camera down. Hopefully you'll be able to see. Can't set this digital camera on the tripod, the thing will get in the way. Now, here's a wheel. Here's a slot. Here's a peg, which unfortunately was painted, but look, rolling. Good. And they're all the same, so it doesn't matter what wheel goes on where. Of course, they have a tendency to fall off, as you see, which is so strange because I didn't drill those out at all. And this has paint on them, which should make them thicker. And yet the wheels still have a tendency to fall off. I do not understand. Now, you also have a chance to see if you can fit this piece on without any interference. So, 1 minute. Gotta find it again. Ah! There we are. Slots point forward. So, pointing forward, fitting here, fitting there. That's almost where it should be. There. That's almost the exact right position, and it's in the center of the slots, right near a strut assembly, so that's good. But I'm not attaching it until the entire car is attached. You don't want this fragile thing because those are the struts. But it does fit in the slot just fine, evenly front to back. Okay, now I don't want to run out of digital camera room. Aha! Look! See those 2 little pegs? 1 peg here, 1 peg there, which fit in these 2 holes that need to be drilled out. I probably wasn't even recording when I did all that. Let me set everything down. Ooh, I know. Just a minute here. There. Stay steady. And let's glue everything into place. Just for hijinks and maximum stupidity. Drilled out the 2 holes. Have to fit in the lower bumper first, so let's glue it everywhere that it has to lie. Alright, so gluing along here, gluing along here, gluing on either side of here because it lays in there somewhere, gluing along here and there, here and there, just in case. Okay, so let's see here. Da 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 da. There we go. There we are. Then you glue the other muffler piece, and it glues somewhere along the engine, probably there and there. Now I see where those 2 little pegs go. And there, 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 and along the bottom. Alright, so there and there. There. That is how it's supposed to fit over top of the other piece. Just like that. Now, I know there was pegs, but they didn't exactly stay in place, so just like that. Just like that. To the frame, and to the engine. And then there, and there, there, and there. Hope I'm still recording. Oh, yeah, it's still recording. Good. There, and there. Good. Here, and here. Along both sides. Liberal amounts of glue. It's not taking the silver off. I'm very pleased. Good. Alright, now you glue the tabs on the black piece everywhere, and the little slots in these tabs here, which should fit there and there. Okay, so first there and there. Good. Alright. Now, you glue that connection. Good. Turn it around. Glue this connection. Good. Glue underneath. Glue underneath. Glue on top. Glue on top. Get at it from underneath. There. There. Good. Good, 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 good. So, all 3 things are now attached, and now you can do the highlighting. Good. I'm not giving up on this. I'm doing as much as I can possibly get away with today, even though it is the assembly of step number 10. But I'm not attaching the rear plate, part 7, until the entire car is attached, because I suspect you don't want anything to interfere with the bumper getting over top of there. And notice how the wheels aren't on yet. Alright. And that, I have taken it as far as I can tonight. There's nothing else I can assemble. I have to let all the glue dry from now on. Yeah. So that's it for the video. I'm going to take a couple pictures now. And this is just loosely set in place, because it's leaning against the seats. I'm not sure of the angle of that yet.